So my story is just so complicated. I am an alumni of Matanya's Hope. I was studying in a local primary school. I was born with a spina bifida. It is a very, very rare condition. So what is spina bifida? Spina bifida is the condition in which a child is born and the lower side of the spinal cord is open. So you have to go for a surgery to have the sealing of that hole. The surgery was done in 1991, and from there, the doctors gave my parents two conditions. That one, I'll never walk again after that surgery, or I will die because of that hole. Miraculously, I was able to walk and I survived as a miracle baby. I grew up like a normal child. At the age of 3 years, every parent would expect that the child would be in a position to excuse themselves to go to the washrooms. But my case was different. I could not control my bowels. So basically, I could not control my urine and my poo. So you can imagine the mess. That one, you are in school with the students, a lot of them there, but all the time, you are stinking. You cannot control your pee. You just poo on yourself. So my condition was so traumatizing. My parents could not understand because even to them, it was a condition that they have never experienced. Students, they could not understand. And even teachers could not understand me. I was so frustrated. These pupils actually making me a laughing stock. But now, what could I have done? Nothing. So I survived. I finished class 8. When you are in class 8, you are basically a teenager at 14. And remember, at 14, you're still urinating on yourself. You still cannot control your bowels. That was in actually 2003. I was a very bright student. In fact, from grade 1, I was actually between position 1 to position 5. But now, the elephant in the house, in which school will I go? So I had to stay home. I could not be taken to any school. My dad knew about Joytown Secondary School. It is a special school meant for children living with disability. Do you think my parents could have managed to pay for my 11,000? No, they couldn't. So I stayed at home for 2 years. But miraculously, my parents met Michelle, and that is where my life started to take a different shape. She sponsored my education in Joytown Secondary School from Form 1 to Form 4. She paid everything. So in Joytown, I had that condition. Because of the spinal cord, my legs could not walk straight. I had a condition called club foot. It is a foot, instead of the foot stepping, it is actually inverted. Instead of stepping like this, you step like this. Yes. So with my inverted foot, if I do this for maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, what do you think is going to happen to this place? Friction. It will damage your skin, and finally, exactly, it is going to develop an wound automatically. All along, one of my leg had a very bad foot. You can imagine the mess. I cannot control my balls, and I had a very sore open wound on the foot. In Joytown, I was introduced to Kijabe Hospital. Usually have mobile clinics, so they used to come to school. I was taken there by the administration and they saw my condition. When they saw my condition, there was a missionary who had come, and there was a doctor who was really concerned about the wound because that wound would never heal. The foot required an urgent surgery. Remember, I had already had my first surgery to correct the spinal bifida. Okay? So I had my second surgery in Kijabe. Correct the what? The club foot. I actually stayed for 6 months in the hospital. No parents, no nothing. I did not attend my classes. It is the books that I had carried to the hospital, but I was determined. I passed my examination. I got a B minus.
Can I ask a question before you met Michelle? How was it for you? You were still paying on yourself. How was your self-esteem? How were you able to stay with the others? How are you able to manage all that?
It has never been easy. I'm a product of God's grace. Because I remember when I was in primary school, I did not have friends. Because who would want to associate with a person who is smelling? Would you want to? No, you didn't want to. My self-esteem was so low. Even when visitors came to my home, I used to hide. Even my own relatives, you can imagine I was a laughing stock. I had a very, very low esteem. So now, in secondary school, I'm still peeing on myself. But by God's grace, that time when I went for my surgery in Kijabe, I was introduced to catheters. A catheter is basically a tube. This tube, the size of between the opening from the urethra to the bladder. In fact, that is what I use up to date. Am I smiling? I'm not. In fact, if I had not told you, would you have known that? No, you cannot tell. In Form 1, Michelle came to visit me in school. Michelle brought me diapers. So she came to school. She did not know the condition. So I had to explain to her that I cannot control my boss. So she drove all the way to the town, bring me adult diapers. It has been a journey. I thank God. Now, from your biology, if you have conditioned your mind that every time at 3 a.m., even if you are deeply asleep, your mind is going to alert you that go and pee. And that is how a person who uses catheter is conditioned. For my case, I usually empty my bladder between 2 to 3 hours. There is no one time you will see me with a wet patch. Now I'm out of school, I'm using catheters. I could not pee and I could not also poo. So what about that? That one is very easy. You have to check on what food rich in roughage, which is cabbages, fruits, food that is rich in fiber. So after maybe 2 to 3 hours, you automatically go and release yourself. I'm very, very careful on the food that I take. That is why I also managed to control my bowel. Now I'm out of school now. I'm a person with disability. And I'm waiting to go to the university. I went to Kagumo Teachers College, courtesy of Matanya Super, pursuing my diploma in education. Yes, diploma in teaching. From Kagumo, I finished and I started working. I had a boyfriend in 2013. But he never got married with that boyfriend. Do you know why? Because of my situation, he could not understand me. When a person have low self-esteem, possible for you to keep on pushing yourself to somebody. Because you want to prove that as much as this person feels that I'm not the best for them, you still feel like this is where I should be. So what happens? Disappointment and heartbreak. He could not have accepted that. I take you to my parents. What will they say? So I had to swallow my pride and told him, it is well. No, you cannot keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm now a teacher in Karatina, a school called Ishuga Girls Secondary School. The other foot developed and good. You are supposed to be on duty. You attend your classes in school on time. I went back to Kijabe. Those pressures will be tend to leak. All the time you find that the place is soggy. They told me that they no longer cater for adults. They only deal with children. So I had my third surgery in a hospital called Jamii. It was not an orthopedic surgery. It was actually a plastic surgery, whereby in case you have an wound and it does not heal, the doctor is supposed to, he is a part of your body and is to stick the fresh. A pressure sole is not just like a cut. It is a hole. They fixed my foot, but it did not stay for long. After 2 years, it broke again. And you know why? I was still using the same foot. So I had my fourth surgery. They did the debridement of the wound. But still, it It never healed. In 2023, it developed another wound. I became very desperate. There was even the time I was having suicidal feelings. Surgeries and surgeries and surgeries and surgeries. I had to go back to Kijabe because of catheters. So when I went there, I insisted that something must be done because I cannot live like that. The food was rotting. So the management told me that they had a doctor. He told me to go and meet him in Meru. I met him. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He examined my foot. He told me that I'm supposed to go for a surgery. So I went for my field surgery in Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital. The surgery was successful. If you look at this foot, see this foot?
Yes.
Your foot. If you look at that foot, if I had not removed the socks or the shoe, it is not possible to tell whether the foot has had a surgery. The doctor had to carry out 2 surgeries at the same time. The orthopedic surgery and also a plastic surgery. So the doctor had to cut here. And why is he cutting here? Because my foot is bending. You can imagine a person who is walking like this. So by cutting here, he wanted to straighten, blink the hammer, and my foot was really hammered. Because it has to be straightened. He straightened the bone and at the same time, he did the wood debridement. That foot is now stepping like a normal foot. That foot is perfect.
Do you have that trauma of, is your child also going to get the same sickness you have?
Clubfoot and spinal bifida, in fact, it is genetical. Your children can easily inherit the condition from you. In fact, miraculously, they had given us a lot of education concerning the same. Up to date, I usually take folic acids. They are supplements. A child gets spinal bifida when they are being formed in the uterus. So folic acids will help you, especially at your childbearing age. In fact, not only people who have those conditions are supposed to take folic acids, even you are supposed to take folic acids, because you do not know whether in your lineage there was a person who had a condition. So any girl who is at a childbearing age, they are supposed to take folic acids. Folic acid will not only prevent spinal bifida, they also prevent a condition called scoliosis. It is a hump. Their back has a what? A hump. It will also prevent a condition called hydrocephalus. My first child is a son. I'll ensure that I tell him that that girl that he will marry, I will ensure that I mentor her on taking folic acids, because maybe my son has the same genes and maybe he might end up having a child who has the same condition. So I'll ensure that my daughter-in-law will ensure that I have given her a lot of education concerning the same. This one goes to the girls. If there is something that will give anybody satisfaction, it is working hard and having a source of income. The only issue that I had, honestly, teachers are not well paid. I managed all through with my condition, with my son. In fact, I had to take him to school very early because I have to work. The money that I'm getting is not even enough. So I had to take the child to school. Today, he is 10 years and he is in grade 6. So in 2025, remember my left foot had already been done. The worst happened. The foot started swelling. The sole started peeling. So I went back to Dr. Kenyo. He told me it means that your foot still, it is stepping on one side. You know, the surgery in Kijabet was done very long time ago. So as I'm growing, I'm gaining a lot of weight. The foot is started bending on one side. He told me that I needed to go for another surgery. So that is surgery number 7. This year in June, I had another surgery at Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital. I was in plaster from June, July, and August. I had the cast removed last week on Wednesday. I want to show you the foot. It is so swollen. See how it looks like? You see that? You'll see this part. That is the part that the doctor said there is high chances that it is going to develop another pressure sore because I'm using that only part to step. So they had to ensure that they have balanced the pressure on the whole foot. So these toes, they can be straightened, but I did not see the need. Listen, if I need the toes to be straightened, I then have to go for another surgery. But to me, if I do not develop pressure sores, if I can step, then I think I'm contented. I don't have to. Because the only thing that can make a person very, very uncomfortable is pain. Self-esteem. You know, there's what we call self-awareness. Self-awareness is understanding and knowing yourself better than any other person. That is what self-awareness is. You are aware about yourself. You are aware about your status. You are aware about your personality and who you are. When I was having that condition, and like today when I'm using catheters, my self-esteem was so low. In high school, sometimes you are told, let's go for guidance and counseling. You are like, these people are just wasting my time. But let me tell you, if there is something that is so important, especially for a teenager, it is guidance and counseling. Let me tell you, one word can change your life completely. One word can change your life completely. I'm a teacher of guidance and counseling because I know with proper guidance, if I have a low self-esteem, do you think I would have talked to you the way I have talked to you today? No, because I'll still be in that pit. Most of the time, a person who has low self-esteem will always focus on the negative part of life. You will not see the positive. You know, I failed the exam because I did not have this. So those negative things. But what do you have? What do you have that will make you propel in life? All of us here are a product of Matana's hope. So, leave alone what you do not have. See hope. As child of Salome in the village of Matanya, a person with a spinal bifida, a girl with disability, will one day impact her life, will one day become a teacher, and probably change another child's life. See yourself a success. See yourself succeeding. If you are not strong enough, nobody will back you up. If you do not love yourself, you have to love yourself first so that the other people can accommodate you. If you see yourself as a useless person, then we all see that this person is useless. So it is upon oneself. Build your self-esteem. And how do you build your self-esteem? Work with what you have. I did a diploma. I want to go back to school. Because if today I'm just living in Matanya in the village, I would not have met you if at all I did not work hard. I would not even have gone for those surgeries. Remember, information is power. If you're not informed, then it means you know nothing. You'll stay in that village. It is upon us to see this opportunity, to see Michelle as our bridge to success. Today I'm successful, courtesy of Michelle and Matanias. I was sponsored. Ken and Sherry. By the way, I got married in 2021. I'm married to a very handsome man. We became friends. That was in 2020. So in 2021, in just 1 year, we got married. So I gave him conditions. That is why I'm telling my girls that once you are educated and you have a job, you have power. That I'll only conceive when I'm sure that you are also seriously in need of a family. And he told me it is okay. So in 2024 last year, I got a girl. So I'm married. And I'm happy there? Yes, I'm happy married. These men are wondering, how did you even tell him that you cannot even go and pee? That you have to... Let me tell you, in life, not only in marriage, in life, it is always good to be honest. Be honest. Yes. So I did not go telling him that I use catheters. No. I just placed my catheter on the washroom there. He came asking, you know, what are those straws for? I told him, those are not straws, those are catheters. Catheters? Yes. So he told me now, I have never seen such a catheter. I told him, no, these catheters are only used by a person who cannot control their blood. And he asked me, so you mean you cannot control the blood? I asked him, have you ever seen me messing the bedding? And he told me no. I asked him, have you ever seen my pants wet? So I told him, I cannot control my bladder. That should never be an issue because as much as I cannot control my bladder, I can take care of myself and it will never even affect you. So it should not be a concern. So my husband knows that I cannot control my bladder. Even my son see those straws there. And he asked, he's very curious. One day he asked, Mom, those tubes. And I told him, those are not tubes. Those are mom veins. So when he grows up, I'll tell him, those mom veins, it is because your mom is like this, eh? Yeah, and like that. My message today is, any person should have education. Work hard. Once you work hard, it will give you a foundation of deciding what you want and what you don't want. Once you are not educated, you don't have a job, you have nothing, you'll be controlled. No other person or other forces will control you. So can you work hard? Can you be focused? Know what you want. Write what you want with big letters. Write that I want to become a doctor. Not just writing. No. You cannot just sit back here and say, now, 10 years to come, I want to become a doctor. What are you doing about it? You have to do something about it, right? You have to do something. Let me tell you, you can be earning millions, but still you are not contented. I'm a teacher. I'm poorly paid. If there's something that I'm proud of, it is being a teacher. With my condition, I think teaching was the most favorable thing. You can teach even when you sit at home. I'm not teaching. Sometimes it is also good to understand. I love my job. It is because I'm able to interact with the youth, young people, young lives who needs to be nurtured. Coming from various backgrounds, students living with conditions, it is only through guiding them that I get the contentment that indeed I'm able to transform life. So that is me. I'm a mother of 2, married, a boy who is 10 years and a girl who is 1 year.